as the survivors of the Sachang 1 accident continue to recuperate. One survivor of a road accident 20 years ago is still living with the effects of the crash. Bright Oyuawa's life changed in a split second following the car crash. She lost her ability to walk, had to quit her job and readjust her whole life. Rita Tinina reports on Bright's journey to coping with life after the accident 2 decades later.
Having graduated from college and landed a job with the bank, the future was looking bright for Bright Oyuawa. The lover of sports, the outdoors and traveling, Bright had her whole life ahead of her.
We just like to explore, we just like to look around, we just like to be on the move. I was on the move quite a bit.
Her adventurous nature saw her plan a road trip to Mombasa with friends, but at Manyani in Voi.
There was a Land Rover that was trying to overtake a trailer, and I believe that they hadn't quite calculated the length of the track. So we were hit, head-on collision, and then a vehicle that was behind us also hit us. So we were trapped into by two vehicles.
That was on the 18th of October 1997, an accident that in a split second changed her life forever. Since that day, Bright has never walked again. She has no recollection of what exactly happened after the accident occurred, but she injured her spine that left her paralyzed from the waist down. She spent over 3 months in hospital and has been confined to a wheelchair for the past 20 years.
I had a lot of plans that are not the plans that I am walking through now. They're very different because as a young girl, everybody looks at life in terms of as you grow older, you want to settle down, you want to have a family, you want to enhance your education, you want to do many more things that that are within your control.
Losing her ability to walk, Bright says, left her in a dark world, and lack of counseling made it even worse.
At that time, you're traumatized, you're angry, you're confused, you're trying to learn your new normal, you're trying to adjust to the things around you, the physical environment not being very friendly.
She managed to go back to work, but couldn't cope and had to quit.
I worked in the advances department. That means that one of the things I needed to do is to go out and assess projects when people are given loans to see what they had done with the money. So it's a very physical, intensive kind of work. And I found that more and more I was finding it difficult to do that. Simple reasons, accessibility to transport.
She has over the last 2 decades made a difficult transition, coping with things that many take for granted.
There's something's put on a shelf, you can see it and you can't pick it. The issues that, for example, in your household, you must have a house help because there are things you need to be helped with that are very personal. That's another change that came with that.
She lives with a metal in her spine and has been in and out of hospital for years after the accident happened.
In total, from the date of the crash to date, both major and minor, I can count maybe 13 operations in and out of hospital. And these are expensive.
Even the surgeries have not given her back her ability to walk again 20 years later. She says the effects of accidents are felt by the victims and their families forever.
Life never is the same for the people that are affected. If they die, their families are affected. If they live with a disability, every day is a reminder of that incident. Every day is a reminder of that incident.
Now she is a road safety advocate through education and awareness creation.
Once you're behind the wheel, you have control. Therefore, it is very important that you realize that life and death pretty much is kind of in your hands. You can choose to, it's like a trigger. Pull the trigger, kill the person, or you can choose not to use your gun. So it's the same way. You can choose to be reckless, you can choose to drink and drive, you can choose to not wear a seatbelt, you can choose to speed unnecessarily, and that one incident that happens is life-changing.
20 years since she lost her ability to walk, Bright is among hundreds of survivors whose lives changed forever following road accidents, many of which could have been avoided. Rita Tinina, KTN News.